Hi. I see that my channel is slowly growing. Um, I haven't been doing much videos lately, but I see some people ask me, to do some videos on. Somebody asked me to do a video about what I think about depression and addiction. Well, something deep to talk about. Well, for my opinion, I believe that like for those who have a drug addiction or a drinking problem, you know, like for example, people smoke, they try to relieve their pain. At the end of the day, all this is all psychological, and what's going on in our mind or going on in our heads. Especially, I can't sit here and judge anybody because I don't know what you could be going through in your life. We all go through stuff in this life. It's so much going on right now in this life, and I see that there's so many out there that are depressed, and the suicide rate is just going sky high right now. Um, I don't know when I think about depression, literally, it's a debilitating illness. It is, and those who do not suffer from this illness really won't really understand it. Only you understand it, because uh, I done spoke to some folks, some people, and I've been in mental health wards before, psych wards. I'm not afraid to admit that I've been to multiple of them. Some of us don't even have family out here, or don't really have that support. You can have some of you may have family, but they really just don't really understand you. Pretty much, they think that you're just making excuses. They think that uh, it's all in your head, all in your mind. Depression could be very spiritual too. That's why I pray to the good Lord to deliver me from this. Not having the energy to not do anything, just feel like crap every single moment. It's very difficult, especially when you feel blue every day. But it's like you try your best, to put a mask on. Either you could be at work or you could be anywhere. You try your best to hide your emotions because you don't want anybody to think that you're weak. But it's very dark. There's times to where like you could be alone and you have suicidal thoughts in your head. Uh, I do too. Matter of fact, I do too. I'm not afraid to admit that because I know this is online, and some would try to criticize you and say, "Oh yeah, you're just making this all up." So I'm gonna answer your question about addiction. Like I said before, people can do drugs, to try to find their ways to escape reality, pretty much, because you could be in so much pain, and it could lead to drinking. Depression can lead to drinking, all kinds of problems. I know my uncle; he's very depressed lately. He drinks so bad to where his liver is really shot, and the doctors are telling him that they said that if you don't stop drinking, you know, you're gonna blow out your liver. My uncle has been depressed for years. Matter of fact, he even helped. When my mom was around, he helped us out. He cut the grass. He did all kinds of things. That man been through a lot, especially the loss of his. I'm not even going to put the man's business out there like that, but I'm just saying it's just my sister and them be asking, why are you doing this to yourself? They're asking him because the man been through a lot. How would you feel if you lost somebody that you love, in a catastrophic event, like this, like the whole family wise? That's what I mean. I mean, the guy drinks a lot. I understand he has a drinking problem. Like I said, we just never know what somebody's going through in this life. We don't. Like anybody can tend to tell you, oh yeah, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. I mean, I know life is gonna be good days and bad days, but I know like when I when talking about depression, a lot of us are like silent right now. A lot of us are silent. You know, it's a it's an illness that many people will really understand, and it's not sadness. Uh, it's something way worse than that. At the end of the day, you get tired of your own mind torturing you. A lot of people that are depressed, they use YouTube to find like some kind of coping skills to relate. And I do the same thing. I watch depression videos and stuff. I also watch Christian videos too because I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ. Uh, Believe me, I understand how it feels not to have any energy to do anything, not want to do anything. But like I said, it's hard because every day you feel like crap. Every day, deep down, every day. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do anything. You don't have no motivation. You have ongoing suicidal thoughts. I'm just saying, depression could lead to many other things, and it's a silent killer. It's a silent killer. It's like, for example, if somebody broke their arm, for example, right? You see, people start signing their casts, but when you have depression, people will turn around and use it against you, and people will not want to be around you. Trust me, because they think that you're just making all the kinds of excuses up. You know, like I said, it's like when somebody break their arm, you can get their cast signed, and people will literally just sign the person's cast. Oh, I feel sorry that you broke your arm, but when you have depression, everybody want to run. Everybody wants to run away from you, and it doesn't matter. I'm gonna tell you like this: even rich people commit suicide, and those who really don't understand this disease, look at Robin Williams. Look at look at the suicide rate that's going up between veterans and civilians. Uh, I'm a veteran myself. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, some can try to get help, but it just really depends on the situation. Like I said, because we all go through things in this life, and uh, it's hard, man. Because we're gonna be put through some. You're gonna be put through the ringer, man. But like I said, this when trying to talk about this illness, it's very difficult sometimes. I haven't really been making a lot of videos lately, but I see that this channel is starting to grow, so I might just put some work into it. I don't know if people come here and watch it, that's fine. But if they don't watch it, then that's fine. You know, but I'm glad you wrote on my um on my channel. You didn't have to delete the comment if you didn't want to. I definitely will respond to your question. But how do I feel about this disease? Is very debilitating. It is. I suffer from it day in and day out. It's an ongoing struggle when you have your own mind torture you every single day. It is. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Like I said, depression is like a silent killer. You know, when you're when this is not right, then nothing is not right. Like I said, I don't have friends. I don't have friends who disappeared. I don't have friends who committed suicide. It's a serious illness, and no matter how strong you could be in life, you can break. It could be a breaking point. At times to where like I say to myself, like I start calling myself names and bringing myself down. Just depression makes you feel like you're not worth anything. It makes you feel like your life is not worth living for. And I read YouTube comments, and some people write some deep, very deep comments. They say like uh they say that they didn't chose to be here in this life. They say that this life is nothing but a game. Uh, they say life is just worthless. And I started thinking the same thing too at times. I started thinking like life is worthless, but God has a purpose for us. So I'm not recommending anybody to take their life. Just try your best to get help. And pray. That's all we can do, man. Especially during a time like this. We all know that the times we're living in is very difficult. And I see that uh, depression, suicide rate is skyrocketing right now, like ever before. Uh, there's even been on the news about how one of JF Kennedy's uh, relatives, She's 22 years old and she committed suicide. They call her, say that it was an overdose. Yeah, this is all over YouTube. Like I get alert messages. That's the thing about social media. Everything when somebody talks about something, it gets exploded all over the internet. You know, I try my best, like to try to stay off social media a little bit as much as possible. But sometimes we get so glued to the phones, and sometimes you want to figure out what's going on in this world. So yeah, it's like I said before, it's a disease that if those who don't understand what this thing does to it, is very debilitating. It is. It's very debilitating. Um, it can cause people to drink. It can cause people to do all kinds of things, take measures, and doing all kinds of drugs and all that stuff. That's what it does. Because usually, like I said, people were trying to find a kind of way to escape reality and try to get high or do anything. They try to escape because they're just not there in the head. Like I said, if you ain't there mentally in the head, then you cannot function. Like I said, people deal with things differently. Like I said, it don't matter what you have in this life. You could be rich, you could be poor. Depression does not even care who you are. And I also believe it's spiritual too. It's spiritual, But for those of you out there, you know, those of you out there, just try your best, man, to hang on, man. It's not easy. It's just it gets harder as it gets harder. Like I said, I don't done some things to myself before that I'm not proud of. You know, it's hard. Especially when you're by yourself and you ain't got no family. Uh, it's difficult sometimes. Even if you are with family, still it's you ain't got. I mean, even still, if you with family, they're still not going to understand you. They're going to make fun of you. You know, uh, they're going to try to tell you it's all in your head, and believe me, the cost of mental health is very expensive because there's a lot of people out there that don't got insurance. We live in a country where you have to pay for everything. If you ain't got the money, then you ain't got nothing really. I'm so blessed. I thank the Lord because I get my medication through the VA, and I see counseling and all that and stuff too. But there's times to where, like I said, I could be trapped up in my apartment, not want to go out nowhere, not want to do anything. I could just get so depressed, and things that are, it's like everything. When you hear something negative, it just brings you down. Pretty much, we're very sensitive people. Those of us that deal with depression, we're very sensitive. We're very sensitive. Like I said, many people deal with this on different ways, on different levels. Like I said, it could be torture. It could be torture every day in your mind. Just not getting no joy out of anything. It freaking sucks. It sucks. But yeah, that's my response, man. You know to your question. Like I said, it's just people get high for all apparent reasons. I'm not saying that they should turn to drugs. That's not the right way to go. But at the end of the day, you really can't stop anybody from doing what they want to do because we all are people. We all are individuals. And like I said before, life is going to pull us to a freaking roller coaster. Some things we can't handle and some things we can't deal with at the same time. It's very difficult sometimes to always remain strong. It's very difficult. You know how hard it is for me to remain strong. Being out here by myself, like I said before, I ain't got that much family. I call upon God at times. I call upon Him and I pray and say, Lord, please deliver me from this this disease. You know, I know that He will, but it's like I said, this is a spiritual thing, depression. I hear voices too in my head, and it's not easy dealing with something like this. Like I said, no matter how strong you are, you can break. I haven't. I've been a loner for a long time, but I've been getting through it, been pushing. And there's not a day that goes by that suicide thoughts come in my mind. Trust me. I know where you guys are coming from on that. Like, I see that on the depression videos that there's about 3 million. There's millions of thousands, 100,000s out there that are depressed. Millions of people out there that are depressed, dealing with this illness. Like I said, it's something that's very debilitating, and it's not taken lightly because like society thinks that it's just they want to put a band-aid over depression. They don't really see what the illness really is because it's hard to really explain to people about how depression really is because they're not going to freaking understand it. Like I said, it's an invisible illness that no one cannot see. And after a while, when you go through it so long, you start to literally get immune to it. You start to literally just like whatever. Like yesterday, this morning, I was just down in the dump. I was walking slow. Every day I feel like that. Trust me, I feel like that every day. Want to sleep in bed all day, not want to do anything, just depressed, not have no energy, not want to go to work, not want to do anything, just nothing. It's like you just don't get no joy out of anything. You feel so empty every single day. And no matter what you do, you still can't feel that joy or happiness. I understand where you're coming from, guys. Trust me. And I started to notice that like this channel started to literally start growing slowly. I think it's going to actually start booming here pretty soon, hopefully. But I know there's a lot of things that's going on right now with the YouTube, and I see that they're censoring a lot of videos. Uh, I just got to just push my luck, hopefully. But then at the end of the day, if this channel grows slowly, then that's fine. But uh, just know that I love you guys, man. If you ever want to talk about this illness or need somebody to talk to, let me know. Cause like I said, this is not easy dealing with something like this. It's not easy at all. It's a constant battle between your own mind every day, your own thoughts. It's very difficult. You get tired of this. You get tired of your own mind torturing you and messing with you. It's. I'm not going to repeat myself about it, but you guys know where I'm coming from. I read comments on here on YouTube and I see how so many people are depressed. You start thinking that you don't have no purpose in life. You start to feel worthless. Like nothing does not matter. Nothing does not matter when you're depressed. I know this disease is horrible. It's a severe medical condition. Like I said before, sometimes medication may not even work for me right now. It gets stronger. I think that depression it grows on so many levels. Like like I said before, everybody deals with it differently. There's times to where it could be very low to where you could just feel a little depressed and you can still do things, but there's times to where it can be very very debilitating and you just don't want to do anything. And I want to leave the house, just I want to do nothing pretty much. Just want to sleep in bed all day. Just nothing does not matter pretty much. Not having the energy. It's, it's something so small, something so little, like a little task can be very debilitating for you. Like cooking dinner, taking your dog out, going to the store, that can be tiring to you pretty much because you just feel this. It's like you feel this heaviness on you pretty much. It's like this rock of heaviness, and you're trying to fight depression, but sometimes it's like a big rock, like holding you down. It's like a it's like a big heaviness, it's just like you being in the shadows pretty much. Like you being in the shadows and you just in the dark and you trapped in your own misery, especially if those of you that are alone. Like I said, you can even be around friends, you can still be alone. You could be around hundreds of people, you can still be alone because you feel like you cannot connect with others. And the only time I can ever connect with others who suffer with this illness are in mental institutions. I'm not afraid to admit that, and I don't really care if anybody judges me because at the end of the day, they're not living my life. They don't know what the heck I'm going through 24/7. Because I'm gonna tell you straight up, people in this life are going to judge you. They're going to judge you, and they're going to tell you like, hey, uh, they're going to tell you like, hey, like I said before, man, how can I put it this way? People are going to judge you regardless of this illness. And like I said, they would take it and use it against you. At the end of the day, they don't know what's going on in your life. They don't know what's going on inside your head, and they're not around you 24/7. You know, like people can sit here and judge you guys, and they may think that they know you well, but they don't know you well at all because they're not around you 24/7. They don't see what you're going through. Nobody doesn't know you better than you know yourself because you know what you go through at the end of the day. You know, you know what you go through every day. You know, and like I said, it's hard to talk about depression, but it's a hard topic to talk about because it's like I said before, it's an illness that's really unexplainable, and it gets very embarrassing when they have their own family members, you know, like mine, ask me, "Oh, did you take your medication? Did you do this? Did you do that?" I mean, like I said before, so I'm gonna post this video. You know, I'll be, you know, if you guys want to come and view this, you know, share it if you like, you know. But that's my thoughts on depression, man. Because like I said, it's horrible dealing with this every day. I know there's worse things in this world. I know that we should be thankful for the things that we have. Of course, I'm thankful. But like I said, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. You know, if you're not right mentally in your head, then it just you get to the point to where it just gets worse. And this is a silent killer. It is because depression alone kills about like millions of people. I'm talking about millions, thousands upon thousands about the worldwide. And you know how many people in the United States of America commit suicide each year? 30,000. I did my research on that. Uh, a lot of doctors get paid off of those who are sick mentally in the head, pretty much. You know, that's why the pharmaceutical companies and these doctors make big money because they get money off of people that are sick, you know, and people who really need medication. You know, it's hard. Believe me, it's hard dealing with this illness. I call it a disease because like it is a disease. You know, I still deal with it every day, and it's hard to deal with this. Um, Only thing I can say, man, is we live in a depressive society. Everything is just you watch the news, we see a lot of things that are going on around us in this world. You know, it's very depressing. Everything that's going on. I understand. Some of us may feel like we ain't got no purpose because sometimes we start to thinking like, why are we here? You know, you start thinking like, man, my life ain't worth anything. You know, because you can go through childhood trauma pretty much. Childhood, you could have depression. I mean, I feel like it all starts from childhood too. Matter of fact, if you are one of those kids, you know, that grew up, that live in isolation, you feel like you cannot fit in. You feel like a nobody. You know, going to school, you just don't. You can't really connect with people because you're different. You know, you're like an outcast pretty much, and you get bullied. Uh, I mean, all that stuff could lead to depression too, as well. And then when you isolate as a child, pretty much, because some of us don't have any friends growing up as a child. I didn't have that many friends growing up as a child. I had acquaintances, pretty much. And then when you start to grow up and you carry that into your adulthood life, then you start to isolate. I've been living in isolation for 27 years. Am I used to it? Kind of, sort of, but not all the time. Sometimes it gets very lonely. It gets very lonely sometimes where you want to hug somebody. Some of you want somebody to love you, and it's hard. You know, like I said, Jesus Christ loved each and every one of us. I know hard. It's hard at times because we start living in doubt and shame. It's hard, especially when you're trying to find that motivation and try to push on through life. It's not easy. It's all you can do. Like it seems like you got the whole world on you. It's like it's like a heaviness on your shoulders, pretty much, like this heavy rock. That's what depression feels like. You know, you just like just something dark around you 24/7. Just try your best to stay strong, man. But here, this is a video for you. If you come watch this, all right? Thank you.